All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, and we give a little piece of our Saturday to talk about things that are happening in tech, and we give you guys the opportunity to call into the program and share some experiences with us. So we kind of help everybody through this collaborative type of environment. Before the break, we were talking to Nick, and to bring everybody up to speed here, basically what happened. Nick is a novice user, and he was very trusting. Received a phone call that was very convincing about his antivirus program called and said, your network has been hacked. And this person proceeded to convince them that they were legitimate and then probably get in there remotely and start doing some stuff and tricked Nick into buying a product that probably wasn't legit. So we're going to kind of help pick up and make sure that I'm right here, talk about some of the conversations and see if we can help Nick out. Nick, are you still with us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we were just getting into the conversation about what these people said when they first got in contact with you. Can you share a little bit with detail?
Called me up on my cell phone on the way home from work and wanted to know if I could be in front of my computer. I was there now. No. Told them I'll be there in 25 minutes. They called me back. I got on my computer. Yes, they put screens up there, and I clicked on a few things here and there, whatever, and all of a sudden they had control of my mouse remotely. Of course, I do not bank online. I told you I don't trust it. Only thing I've done bad is I've bought some things on eBay, and I had to use my credit card. That's as far as it goes. At any rate, convinced me that something had happened and that I needed protection. And I got a whole list of stuff that they wrote down that I now have protection for because I sent them a check. This happened some days ago. But I never noticed anything with my computer, nothing different. And I don't know. I didn't have any of these things on there before, I guess, as far as security goes. But I supposedly had a security system, and it was supposed to be in place according. I purchased something last February.
Okay, so here's what I want. Now, let's kind of review some of the stuff that you may have shared with them and see if there's some stuff that you have to react to and do now. So you said you sent them a check. You actually mailed them a check?
Yeah, I sent him a post office check.
Okay. And so it wasn't drawn from your regular account. You ended up having just a mail.
No routing numbers or account numbers, no.
Okay. All right. From that point on, I mean, you're going to be out that money because there's no way to stop that, stop the payment on the check. So you're going to be out on that, but that's actually better because they don't have your account information. They don't have any more information on you because that's really what these are bad guys and they scammed you for whatever how much did it cost, by the way?
$200.
Okay, so they got you for $200. We'll kind of say, okay, you got me on that one, but we don't want it to get any worse. So when they called you, the reason they marked you because they had just enough information on you to convince you that they really were from your security package. So they probably knew your name, maybe had your address, maybe even had the product that was legitimate on your computer. Now, what you said to them and stuff that you may have given away, that's the part I'm interested in. Did they ask for anything about bank account numbers or where you did banking business?
No, they didn't do that at all. They asked me questions which I now look back on it, they were figuring out how extensive my knowledge of computer is.
Yes, for sure.
And they did ask me, like, do you know what a network is? I said, well, I don't know what you call network, but what is a network? Let me hear your version of it. And they told me network is a tracking or a category of places that I go on the computer. And they said, where do you go on the computer? I told them I go to eBay rarely, 4 or 5 times a year. I go to, with YouTube, and I go to my email. And I said, that's it. I refuse to bank online, and I refuse to put anything out there other than my credit card. And I changed it already from the stuff that I bought on eBay. So what I'm getting at is how in the heck do you know if this indeed was a scam? Because they gave me a little icon on my desktop that says security tools, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 9 things listed in there that they claim they added to my system to keep me from getting scammed. They also had a little computer help icon that gives me the name of the technician and a toll-free extension number an email address and a customer ID code, which I'm not supposed to share, in case I have any issues or whatever in the future with my computer.
All of that you mentioned is complete theater. It's all meant to like overcome your all your senses are telling you that this is not something's not legitimate, and they're buying your trust with all of this theater, the things that are intended to make you feel safe with them, so they can sell you a $200 piece of software that's not even legitimate. It might even function. It might even have pop-up errors that say that you're safe. And so they put a lot of money into making you think that what you just did was legitimate. Now, what I tell customers, first of all, the first rule is those people will never touch base and call you. They don't have monitoring systems that wait for you to get hacked and then call you and let you know. Unless you specifically are paying a company to do monitoring, they don't know that that's happening. So the reason they called already is bunk, that there's no way they can tell that you are infected or you are doing it. Now, if your ISP is telling you, like Armstrong or Time Warner or one of those guys, then yeah, they can see that activity. But anybody else, they can't. Okay, so the second thing they're going to do, like you said, is they're going to try to figure out what your level of experience is. If they know that you're another computer person, their stuff that they say is going to be different than if you sound like a novice. So they're going to really take advantage of you. Now, the examples that we've run across is once they get your $200, that's really all they were after anyway, is getting the $200. But we have to be a little bit more cautious, because when they were in your computer, they could have been looking for very specific things to send to themselves. So if they took a particular interest in maybe your usernames and passwords that are on the machine, let's just say you mentioned eBay, and then so they went into your browser and looked for, passwords for eBay, then they can, were interested in using your eBay account for doing stuff. Okay.
I don't put any of that in there. I have it on a slip of paper that I keep in a box with my new checks, my checkbook. I don't put them on there, and they couldn't have got it because there's nothing in the computer. I don't bank online either. I don't believe in these damn things, to be honest with you.
Right,
I really don't like them.
Right,
they made it necessity for life. And I told these guys, I said, heck, I lived 60 years without one of these dang boxes, and I could dang sure do another 20 without it.
I tend to agree with you, because this makes me infuriated when people do this, because like you, now you're hesitant to do more stuff.
I won't.
Right. So
I'm not buying nothing else.
All right. So
I'm considering yanking it out of the wall and throwing it in the trash can, and I got $1,000 wrapped up in this thing.
I don't blame you. So in your case, I think $200 is all they were after. They got it, and you have no more to worry about. I would probably have someone if you don't yank it out of the wall and destroy it, I'd at least have all that software they put in, have someone remove all of it, because that could be some backdoor stuff that could allow them in later on down the road. I'd clear it out, clean it out.
More money.
Right. Sorry, I'm the bearer of bad news, but it's just the reality of once they get in there and do their stuff, they have more control over it than you do at that point. So
now my next question.
Sure.
Okay. I'm mad. I put a hole through it with my revolver. I throw it in the trash can. Now, how can anybody say I did anything, or I hacked somebody, or they got my information? How can I be responsible legally for something that used my identity or whatever, or my email address or something? How can I be responsible for that if I didn't do it?
Yeah,
Am I really at peril?
You're really not.
I did something bad, like going to a nudie site or something like that?
Yeah, you're really not, because we're so accustomed to seeing it. We know what it looks like when someone's using your identity versus when you're using it. It's like it take 2 seconds to figure out it wasn't you. So these guys are quick hitters, where if they can get your eBay account, they do something quick and produce more fraud. But if you let some time go by, they're not interested in your account anymore. It's 2 weeks old, and they're already on to somebody else who they got their account yesterday. So I would breathe some relief, because you didn't have a lot compromised. You didn't have your social security number in there. You didn't have your passwords in there. So you're pretty much, they got you, and you can move on.
Yeah, I don't trust none of that stuff.
All right. Well, Nick, thank you for sharing the story. And hopefully through this story, somebody else heard it, and when they get that phone call, they'll hang up right away.
Well, I'm sorry to give computers a bad rap, but it is what it is. Bro.
Well, we're feeling for you. Thanks, Nick, for calling. Appreciate it. All right, take care. And I hear the story every single day, and where I am doing my best to try to get people to use more of this technology and to do it safer so that they can be enabled, they can participate. And here you got these guys who are souring what I'm trying to do every day by getting people to mistrust these things, because you got to understand that the people who are smarter than you at it, they've got an advantage, a clear advantage. And I don't have, I can do shows 24 hours a day and still not get the education to everybody, because there are people just right outside, and it's changing enough that once you know it, there's new stuff to learn. So we'll do our best to keep you guys informed. And the general rule is, let me repeat this because I don't repeat it often enough. Okay, so number one, the IRS and UPS, and I don't care if your bank calls you. None of the incoming calls matter to me. Even if you are legitimate, I will hang up on you. Do you know why? Because if you tell me, hey, there's a problem, I'm going to call you back at a number that I trust, not the one that you came. I can make it look like I called from any single number. I could call you and say I'm from any given place. So I'm going to mistrust every incoming call. I'm going to hang up on you. So if you're in this position, you get an incoming call, I don't care if it's from the President of the United States, hang up and call back a number that you trust. Get it from your statement. Look it up online. Do something. Do not just respond just because they called you and said they're from somewhere. They probably lying, and they probably didn't. IRS doesn't call you like that. They send letters. Your bank is not going to call you like that. So hang up the phone. Now, if you saw the caller ID and you were expecting the phone call, and your bank is going to, and your UPS is going to, they're already going to give you a protocol that you're used to. If they come out swinging, asking questions about your social security number and your address, don't give anything volleying that way. Okay, take the information that they have and saying, but don't give them any more, because that's really what they're doing. Sometimes they'll do this multi-stage con. Well, they'll have your name and address, but they really need your phone number to get you, right? So they call you up and say, hey, this is Bob from Capital One, and we see you're over there on 123 Main Street over in Poland. We tried to send you a text message to your cell phone. Is 9732 the last four digits? And they are sitting there hoping, breathless, waiting for you to say, no, my phone number is 333-55555. Now, boom, they just got your phone number. They're going to hang up quietly. You're going to think no different. Capital One just needed an updated phone number, but now the scammer has a third piece of information. Guess what they're going to do the next time they call you? All right, they might make it completely benign again and say, hey, I see you over there on 123 Main Street, and we know your phone number is blah, blah, blah. Hey, do you still work at the school system, or do you still work at blah, blah, blah? And then you give them more information. So do not volley outgoing information to these people over the phone. Mistrust everybody. Do not do business like that over the phone, because there is scammers aplenty. All right. Sorry for that. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We were just talking to Nick a couple minutes ago, and I want to, if you're still listening out there, Nick, I want to make this offer to you. If you want to bring your computer down to us, we'll get this thing cleaned up for nothing. We'll waive the service cost for you. And I know that doesn't kind of win you back to technology, and it's not going to make you do anything and try to start trusting computers. But if I can do anything to take the sting off of that, I don't know. You're going to get no justice on it. If I had a white hat hacker group and I could go after these people and go all vigilante and take all their money and distribute it, I would do that in 2 seconds. And maybe one day I will. Maybe I'll know enough smart people that we sit around and just take advantage of those who take advantage of everyone else. And man, that would get me all fired up. But until then, it's the least I can do. So if you call our office, 330-259-7278, let those guys know that I'm giving you a comp cleanup. I guess that's what I can do. So I'm sorry that you went through that, and everybody else, I'm sorry that you all have to experience these idiots, and I would punch them in the mouth if I could, if they were in front of me on your behalf in any given minute. So it makes me just as mad as it hurts you. So 330-259-7278, call our office and get that going. All right, let's take another phone call. Get started.